dear students, let's start your 6th chapter of the book Moment, Weathering the Storm in Ersama. This story is about a cyclone. The cyclone that hit Odisha in October 1999 killed thousands of people and devastated hundreds of villages. Meaning thousands of people were killed in that storm and many villagers, hundreds of villagers had gone some far away places and their life was almost ruined. For 2 dreadful nights, Prashant, a young man, was marooned on the roof of a house. For 2 dangerous nights, Prashant got shelter on the roof of a house. On the 3rd day, he decided to go to his village. Did he find his family? What happened to his family members and his village? To enjoy it, let's start reading the lesson. On 27 October 1999, 7 years after his mother's death, Prashant had gone to the block headquarters of Ersama, a small town in coastal Odisha, some 18 kilometers from his village, to spend the day with a friend. This was the incident which occurred on 27 October 1999, 7 years before his mother died, and he had gone to Ersama to spend a day with his friend, and which is far away, 18 kilometers far away from his village, this place. In the evening, a dark and menacing, meaning imminent, troublesome, harsh storm quickly gathered. And in the evening of 27/1999, imminent and harsh storm gathered. Winds beat against the houses with a speed and fury, meaning anger, and that Prashant had never witnessed before. That day the storm was so wild, so loud and so dangerous, and here it is personified. That anger of the storm is described. It had never seen by Prashant earlier. Heavy and incessant, meaning continuous, rain filled the darkness. Ancient trees were... first a storm came, and then heavy and continuous rain started. Ancient trees were uprooted and crashed to the earth. Even the old trees were uprooted, meaning destroyed. Screams, shout, rent echoed the air as people and houses were swiftly washed away. When people and houses started vanishing, washing away with the air, with the water, so lots of shouts, screams were echoing in the environment of Ersama. The angry waters swirled, meaning twist, into his friend's house, neck deep. As he was in his friend's house, so the house was completely in water and everybody was inside the water there till neck. The building was of brick and mortar and was strong enough to survive the devastation of the wind's velocity of 350 km per hour. Though his friend's house was extremely stronger, and it was able to survive the devastating, the dangerous speed of the storm. The speed of the storm was 350 per kilometer hour. But the cold terror of the family grew with the crashing of trees that had got uprooted and fallen on their house, sometime in the middle of the night, damaging its roof and walls. Though the house was quite safe, but the entire family member were worried because the in the old trees were uprooting, and every time they were coming on the house, and it could destroy the roof and walls of the house. And it happened also. The crazed destruction wrought by the cyclone and the surge of the ocean continued for the next 36 hours. The devastating effect of the storm continued for till next 36 hours. That was a long storm, and its consequences were going to be longer even. To escape the waters rising in the house, Prashant and his friend's family had taken refuge on the roof. Because the water level was increasing, dangerously increasing per hour, so Prashant and his friends' family members took shelter on the roof. Prashant will never forget the shock he experienced at his first glimpse of the devastation wrought by the super cyclone in the grey light of the early morning. Next morning, in the light of early morning, when Prashant saw the outcome of the storm, that sight he was not going to forget ever in his life. A raging, deadly brown sheet of water covered everything as far as the eyes could see. As far as his eyes could reach, each and everywhere brown water was available. The houses were not able to be seen. Brown sheet of water only. Only fractured cement houses still stood in a few places. And what were able to survive, they were the cement houses. Only they were standing, rest of other were floating with the water. Blotted animal carcasses, meaning dead bodies, and human corpse dead bodies floated in every direction. Wherever he was able to see, only water was available to be seen, and in the water dead bodies of animal and human being were floating. All around, even huge old trees had fallen. Not only it, even the strongest huge trees were also fallen. 2 coconut trees had fallen on the roof of their house. This was a blessing in disguise, because the tender coconuts from the trees kept the trapped family from starving. Starving meaning death with hunger in the several days that followed. What happened to coconut trees also fell on the roof of his friend's house, though it was a blessing in disguise, because though it fell down and it disturbed the roof, but with the help of the tender coconut, the trapped family, his friends and Prashant, they could survive by eating the coconuts which were there on the top of the coconut trees. For the next 2 days, Prashant sat huddled, meaning closely, with his friend's family in the open of the rooftop. For 2 days, Prashant kept on sitting closely on the roof of his friend's house, because coming down in the room or the lower section of the house was not possible due to the excess of water. They froze in the cold and incessant continuous rain. Though freezing was done